Hey guys, Smith here with Minute Maintenance, coming at you with my 2013 Ford F-150. Now yesterday when I took her for a spin around the block, I ran into a bit of a weird clanking noise coming from the back, and I think I narrowed it down to the exhaust. So let's go ahead and climb underneath the truck and see if we can figure out what's going on and hopefully get it remedied. Alright guys, yesterday when I was running errands and I was driving around town, I noticed a fairly consistent metallic clanking noise coming from my vehicle that could very easily be heard coming from the back. Now that was obviously very concerning, as it should be concerning for everybody, because it could be anything from a loose suspension part somewhere, a ball joint going out, a brake caliper coming loose somehow. But thankfully, once I got out of my truck, pulled it back in my driveway, and I came to the back to try to figure out what's going on, I immediately noticed my issue. Can you guys figure out what's going on there? Alright, if you look on the left, you see that exhaust is a lot higher than the exhaust on the right. What had happened was, my exhaust here on the right had become loose because one of the mounts, the rear mount right here, had rusted off and broken. It's fairly common. It's going to happen. These things get a lot of wear and tear being underneath the vehicle. They deal with a lot of the elements directly, as well as a lot of heat. So cause this to rust and break. So thankfully, the way to fix this is actually fairly simple. We're going to go over that right now. Alright, what we're going to use to fix this exhaust issue today is a universal strapping kit here. Now this is a metal hanging kit for any exhaust. I picked it up at O'Reilly just a few days ago for about $5. So we're going to need this, flathead screwdriver, and a pair of pliers, and we should get this exhaust hung and back to normal. Now the way this kit works is it basically just comes with 2 screws and 2 bolts. There's one set, and this fairly long coiled up metal band that's fairly easy to cut with a pair of wire cutters or some tin snips if you happen to have them on hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to loop it around a solid surface on the top of the vehicle, underneath here above the exhaust, and then we're going to wrap it back around the exhaust itself, and then we're going to bolt everything together. Fairly simple, so let's go ahead and get this going. Now as you guys can see here, what I'm choosing to do is where my leaf spring mounts back here, there's a little bit of a gap. A little bit of a gap underneath the mounting area, a little bit of daylight there. So I'm just going to go ahead and feed the wiring harness through that because this is solid. This isn't rusted out. This is good to go. The only thing that rusted out was the actual connection here, the original connection that broke off. And there is one I could actually buy to replace it. Make it pretty factory new, just bolts in here, and I could clamp it on the exhaust here. But this was cheaper, this is faster, this is easier, and I wasn't 100% sure at the time how bad this setup was here originally, so I didn't want to go ahead and buy something identical if the original one failed and the identical one wasn't going to mount up either. But looking at it now, I could have done that, but this is where we're at. We're going to go ahead and take care of this. So I went ahead and I fed it through underneath here, this leaf spring mount. And you can mount it anywhere you want. You can go over top the leaf spring. I really wouldn't recommend that because leaf spring, it is meant to move. You want to pick something that is secure and solid, but anywhere around here on the leaf spring mount or along the frame, this is where I'm going, is underneath here. I'm going to bring the band back around. I'm going to wrap it around the exhaust, allow it to reconnect to itself, get just the length I need, just to get it nice and tight, just to secure her back up to the position I want her, tighten her down, give her a cut, and we're good to go. Alright guys, so as you can see, I went ahead and I'm holding the exhaust up exactly where I want it, and I'm pulling the band across. Obviously this would be easy to do with 2 hands, but I'm just demonstrating for you right now basically what I'm doing. Holding the exhaust up to the point where I want it, and I'm tightening the band as tight as I can, getting it to the nearest hole. You don't want to slouch. If I went to that hole up there, it'd still be loose. I want to get as tight as I can. Oh, my neighbor's doing some chainsaw, that's a little annoying. Get as tight as I can, slip through that hole, and put the bolt in the screw. Alright guys, and there you go. That's the final work product. So I actually forgot to grab my wire cutters when I was in my garage, so I just went ahead and bent the wiring harness back and forth, and it snapped right off, so that wasn't an issue at all. And as you can see, she's a lot more secure than she was before. She's got just enough play. These bushings up here that had rotted away on me and rusted out. They're supposed to give a little bit of play, a little bit of cushion. You don't want this thing completely stationary, it might come off. And you know, guys, if your exhaust is rattling around, this was a $5 strap. It took me about 2 minutes to put everything together. It's very simple. I went around here, this clamp here, to try to blend everything in together, and now my exhaust is secure. It's not bouncing up and down when I hit a bump. And the reason that's bad for exhaust is it's going to cause the other connections somewhere else to break. It's going to cause another mount to snap. It's going to cause the exhaust itself to break. All that wobbling, it's not meant for that. So you got to get this thing strapped back down as soon as possible. So that's everything, guys. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me today. I know it was a short video. Hopefully, again, as always, this allows you to take a minute out of your day to do some maintenance. We'll catch you next time.